Greetings ladies and gentlemen, Furo here and I'm back with another Shadowverse video for you. Like the last bunch of Shadowverse videos, the following content is sponsored by Cygames, so if you want to try out the game, feel free to check out the download links for Steam, iOS and Android in the video description. It is free to play and I'm pretty sure you will love it as a card game fan. Because I've seen an uptick in new Shadowverse players on my channel, I recently got a lot of requests for doing or rating some budget decks. To give you all a nice little head start into the game, I decided to start an ongoing budget series that will cover a budget deck for all classes over the next couple of weeks. Budget deck in a card game for myself is considered a deck without the highest rarity, so no legendaries at all. Some content creators might do even stricter stuff and cutting out both legendaries and gold cards, but that is normally not necessary. When you start Shadowverse as a new player, you will get an overwhelming amount of free booster packs, and with the cards out of the free packs, plus the included vials due to dusting or multiple copies of a card, you can easily build any budget deck with cards up to gold. In general, you should also be able to craft a few legendaries, hence I will give you a little outlook in which legendary cards you should craft to create an even more powerful deck. I like to start the budget series here with a class that is currently the strongest in the game, so it should be easy for you to ramp up and reach a good placement on the ladder with the deck. Of course, we are talking about SHADOWCRAFT here, a faction that topped the charts with the introduction of the Tempest of the Gods. While the mid-range version of the popular class should be even stronger on average, it is the more aggressive version that is better suited for a budget deck. A similar thing will happen in most other classes as well. In general, the cheaper the decks, the more aggressive you need to play. As the name already suggests, your plan is to push heavily for face damage. Trading is not out of the place, but the overall majority of your attacks are going straight into your opponent's hero. The reason for that is of course the lack of endgame opportunities and flexibility for yourself, which will be extremely painful if you're facing decks with lots of healing potential. The main reason why the win rate of the deck was increasing a lot with the new expansion lies in the two new cards, Catacomb and Orthrus, both helping you to curve out decently and increasing the overall damage output as well. Especially the Catacomb might be a target for a balance patch that is expected to come out in around 2 weeks. When you play this little guy, you will give all allied followers the last words to summon a skeleton, therefore not only stabilizing your board a lot, but also ramping up the amount of follow-up units after some sort of destruction by your opponent. In a perfect game, you will play him on curve on turn 3 into 2 or even 3 other units. As long as your opponent is then not playing havencraft with the ability to banish your followers, it is most often than just GG already. One turn later, on the other hand, you will hope to find Orthrus, another great new silver card follower. The card is not only dealing 2 damage to a random enemy follower, but also buffing one of your own followers by another +2 attack. Your opponent is most likely forced to trade into your units on its previous turn, so expect to only face 1 or 2 opposing damaged followers on the board, and then the Orthrus will totally dominate the board, giving you the opportunity to get a 2-for-1 trade. Your finisher in this deck is either coming in form of the Phantom Howl, which is a spell card that can give you up to 5 direct damage attacking followers, or the Wind God, which will buff the units on the board at the start of your turn. And while we are at the Wind God, this one is just a substitute for the legendary card called Cerberus. Your goal for the deck should be to play 3 Cerberus, and if you have 3 of those, you can then cut out the double Wind Gods and one of your earlier creatures. With that, the deck is more or less complete and you will find great success with it on the ladder. With a bit more wild investment, a stronger mid-range SHADOWCRAFT deck is also not out of the question, but for now let's keep it with the aggro version. We're not trying the deck as always in a few games, and if you still have questions or want to give me feedback for the next budget deck, please just comment below. To see more of my content, hit the subscribe button and get notified when more is coming. Alright guys, we are starting our journey today against dragoncraft, and if he's playing ramp dragoncraft, which is very likely, then that can be a very tough matchup. We're dropping the Wind God here, you don't need that for the start. We have the Skull Beast, we have a Shadow Reaper. Shadow Reaper is great when you have a lot of units already on the board. If we play him on turn 2, he's most likely only getting buffed to 2 attack, 2 defense, so not very strong, but still that's a nice 2-drop nonetheless. The Bone Chimera, it looks fine, so Skull Beast it is, then Shadow Reaper. We're starting here, so we can be the one that is pushing damage first in the face, Catacomb. Alright, so I like that. Let's just hope that the Skull Beast is surviving one turn. We'll just play Blazing Breath, sorry. Blazing Breast it is. Not doing anything, so that's good. We will then just drop the Shadow Reaper here. One in his face. We will then drop the Prince Catacomb on turn 3. And then we also have the Orthrus here, so that's the more or less perfect curve. But again, the problem is that if he's playing Rampcraft, then he might be going too fast for us. In the best case scenario for him, he's just dropping a Dragon Oracle now and ramping up. If he's not doing that, there's a Dragon Mercenary. With that, he's getting a random card that is costing at least 5 play points into his hand, and this one is getting a bit cheaper. But still, nonetheless, Prince Catacomb. 2 in the face. Now we are getting skeletons when our units are going down. He's down to 17. We are dropping the Orthrus next turn. Necromancer rides. Oh, he's playing this card. That's interesting. So whenever he's now discarding a card, he is also drawing a card. That might be very interesting, what he's dropping here. We could go for the Orthrus, but then we are not dealing any sort of damage, so why not just drop Bone Chimera and push 3 more on the face. So he's down to 14. If he's interested in killing something, he needs to kill the Shadow Reaper, otherwise Shadow Reaper is just getting buffed by the other units. We can evolve next turn. Right now we have 4 damage on the board, so we are dealing at least 6. Plus if we drop the Orthrus, that will be another 2, so we have then 8 damage that can just go for the face. So he somehow needs to find a way to clear the board, which might be very tough, because it has 4 play points. So I guess that will be very tough for him to come back from that. His start was way too slow, which is definitely good for us. Plus we already have the Phantom Haul here, so if he's clearing the board, we are just getting the shadows, and then with the Phantom Haul we can hit him for another 5 in the face. The dragon randomly discard 1 card, and then when the dragon is going down, he can draw another 3 cards. He's discarding 2 cards, sorry. He's discarding 2 and then drawing 3. So yeah, Shadow Reaper is going down, we're still getting the skeleton. So what we are doing is just going for the face. We're dropping the Orthrus. Then we are evolving the... let's go for this guy. And then pushing 8 in the face. He's down to 6 already. So makes it a lot of damage. We're still at 20. He has only 1 unit, and the unit can kill 1 of our units. But then we are just spawning another skeleton, of course. Plus we have the Phantom Haul here. So virtually he is already dead, but he might have a surprise. I don't think that there is any card that can help him here. I mean, he would need to clear the whole board and then also get rid of the old skeletons. There's double Bellring Angel, so some wards on the board. Will prevent a bit of damage. You could also evolve 1 Bellringer Angel, so then kill a unit. But again, it will be very tough. So he's killing the Chimera, he's spawning another skeleton. He can also kill the Skull Beast, which would then again just spawn another skeleton. Going for the Prince. Interesting. And with that, let me just check that here. Is he down? Soul Conversion. So we can just kill this one, we can kill the other Bellringer Angel, and then we have, yeah, we still have 6 on the board. So that is GG, just like that, turn 6. Just because the dragoncraft was way too slow in this specific matchup. So winning the first game, let's go for another one. Game 2, and our next opponent is using runecraft. Runecraft unfortunately isn't as strong as it used to be. So the class was way stronger before the expansion, so before Tempest of the Gods. There, runecraft was one of the best to play. We have Shadow Reaper, Celestial Archer. I guess we're going first, we want to have a 1-drop here. So let's just start with the Celestial Archer and hope to find a 1-drop. That would be really good. There is none. We just got another Shadow Reaper. So our start is unfortunately a bit slower, it looks like, if we're not getting one now. No, there's none. That's not good. So start is definitely slower, which is helping our opponent. Because of course you want to have the perfect curve. You want to play something on 1, 2, 3, 4, and then maybe even turn 5 with the Wind God. That would be a perfect curve. You need to push as much pressure as possible on the board. And definitely dropping the Celestial Archer here instead of the Shadow Reaper. The Celestial Archer has the evolve effect that you can deal an extra 1 point of damage to an enemy. That can be a follower or can be the hero. But it's just stronger right now than a Shadow Reaper. He's going for Kaleidos Crow, which is giving us the Celestial Archer back into the hand. On the other hand, that means that we need to play Either the bone here or we're going archer and skull beast. Both is possible. No, let's drop the skull beast and the celestial archer. Might be a bit better. Because he is dropping normally a small unit that we can kill with the Orthrus. At least I hope so. And then we have 2 units as an insight. Yeah, looking good. And Conjurer Golem. That is perfect because now the Orthrus is just killing the Golem and we are just getting more damage into the face. So by far the best. And 5 into the face, he's down to 15. Would be nice to get a Prince Catacomb next turn, then we can play Prince Catacomb, Shadow Reaper, and the Shadow Reaper is then getting buffed heavily. We should expect to see a Mage Lavina, which is then evolving, and Crimson Sorcerer. Oh, he's just conceding. Too strong for him. So apparently we were too strong for the Runecraft, and now we got the Bloodcraft. And this one is in general another very aggressive deck. So gonna combat that with even more aggression. A Goblin is good for the start. Shadow Reaper, Skeleton Fighter, that's decent. So just starting with the Goblin, of course. Skeleton Fighter has a little Necromancer effect. So he's getting stronger when you have at least 1 Shadow. Opponent wasn't doing anything on his first turn. So we might not see Urius. There is Urius. So whenever we are now playing a unit, the Urius is just dealing 1 damage into the face, and that is a bit of a problem, because if we are just going for the Shadow Reaper here, the Shadow Reaper is not strong enough to kill the Urius next turn, which means that we need to play probably Skull Beast and Skeleton Fighter. That is on the other hand dealing 2 damage into our face, so I don't really like that, but I guess we have to do that. Right now we have no shadows, so the Skeleton Fighter is also just a small unit. Yeah, we're going... Oh, okay, let's go for Skull Beast and Skeleton Fighter. So he's dealing, Urius is dealing 2 damage. We are hitting the Urius because we're definitely interested in killing it. As a Blood Wolf, our opponent's getting 2 in the face. Probably just going for our face now. Oh, he's trading, interesting. And Ambling, that's another 1 on each leader. So we're both down to 17. He's hitting us with the Urius. And we are now just dropping the Shadow Reaper, killing the Urius. And the Shadow Reaper is getting buffed twice. We are also getting 1 more point of damage from the Urius, so we are down to 15. And Skull Beast is also coming. Shadow Reaper now at 3. And potentially we can already play the Phantom Hole next turn, which might be a bit too early. But we'll see. Vampiric Fortress. So far so good. And Double Dance of Death. Well... Don't care too much for this guy, to be honest, so let's just go for the face here. Let's evolve the Shadow Reaper, and we're pushing 6 into his face. So we have the Dance of Death. With that we can clear some units, plus the Phantom Hole. We are not playing that right now. Just gonna wait until the board is cleared. So our strategy will be to play the Dance next turn. He's right now pushing 1 damage. With the Vampiric Fortress he can push more if he gets some Force Bats onto the board. With the Night Horde. Yeah, so that's 2, then he is evolving, killing the Shadow Reaper. And that might be 1 more point of damage. It is 1 more point. Getting another Vampiric Fortress, so 1 from Forest Bat, we get the Phantom Hole. Another 1. Now that would be interesting. We have double Phantom Hole. How about just killing this guy? We're evolving. Then that's another 3 in the face, so he's down to 6. If he is clearing our Skull Beast here, we can just go Phantom Hall. And with that we are pushing 7 in the face, because we are spawning 5 small little ghosts here. And we can just evolve 1 ghost for have 7 in the face. And he cannot kill us here. Even if he's spawning another Forest Bat, then he's dealing, for example, 3 or 4 damage with the bats from the Vampiric Fortress. And of course the damage on the board, so that is not good enough for him to kill me. Yeah, there is a trait. Dark Air Gemmer. So he's getting the Vampire Princess and he's getting the Levin Duke. Now he's killing the small unit on the board. Skull Beast, we're down to 12. We're now getting 5 damage from the Levin Duke. But we don't care for that. We're just going for the face here and winning. So that's another victory with the budget SHADOWCRAFT deck. By the way, we were playing all these games on AA0. Just for your information. And there is a conceit. So that is GG guys, and I will see you in the next episode.